how do you know if you are loving your wife correctly? Or what should you expect to happen if you're loving your wife correctly? That is the topic today. Dr. Guy Richard of Reformed Theological Seminary wrote an article entitled How Jesus Trains Husbands, based on Ephesians 5:25, which says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." Dr. Richards says, quote, "I want to spend some time exploring first what it means to love our wives in a Christ-like way, and then second, how we can evaluate whether we are succeeding." He says, when we look at the text before us, we can say for sure that our love for our wives must be sacrificial. And that is absolutely true. That's right. And so what does this look like? Dr. Richard says we must daily sacrifice our pride, our reputation, our selfishness, and our rights. Now that sounds a little bit like complete and utter humiliation, if that's the application there. He writes, though, that Jesus came to serve rather than to be served. He laid down his life for the sake of his bride, the church. And so he concludes then, and he draws a conclusion that he says, "I often hear men say that I feel like they are giving more in their marriage than they are getting out of it, or that they're giving more than their wife is giving." And my response, he says, is usually something like this: "Congratulations, that's exactly the way it's supposed to be." That's right, men. According to Dr. Richard, you should be giving more than you're getting. Which, to me, your humble correspondent here, this seems a little like role reversal, because in Genesis chapter 1, the woman is created to be the helper to the man, of course. But the way he is framing this, you would think that Adam was created to be the helper to Eve, right? So this is a little bit of a reversal here. Now, this is where it gets good, though. Then Dr. Richard writes how we can know if we are actually, as husbands, succeeding in loving our wives in a Christ-like way. He says, if we understand the process of becoming sanctified as a process of becoming more and more like Christ, then Ephesians 5:26-27 suggests that the result of Christ's sacrificial love is that his bride, the church, becomes more and more beautiful over time. And he says, I have found this to be especially helpful in diagnosing the condition of my own marriage and in determining how well or not I am loving my wife in a Christ-like manner. Now here he goes. This is good. He says, if I am giving myself in a sacrificial way to my wife, then I should expect that over time, my wife will become more and more beautiful. Here it is. Her beauty is the test by which I know how I am doing as a husband. Wow. I mean, boy. I must be doing great. My wife has never looked so good. I must be just doing great. Donald Trump, he must be one of the best husbands on the earth. I mean, look at his wife. She looks great. Tom Brady married to Giselle. Boy, I mean, she's never looked better. He must be just one heck of a husband there. I mean, wow. I mean, never mind, I guess, that Giselle's divorcing Tom, but you know, hey, what? You can't win them all. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So that's the test, gentlemen. In conclusion, you know if you are loving your wife in a Christ-like way, if she is becoming more and more beautiful by the day. Well, for my fellow patriarchs out there, what do you think of this? Hit the like button. Leave a comment. I'll put some links to the articles in the notes here. Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, I am the Postmillennial Man.